Welcome back to another episode of Athletic Conceptual Training, where we spotlight the extraordinary people behind the scenes who keep the world moving forward. Today, we're diving into the heart of veterinary medicine and sitting with a registered veterinary technician whose journey is filled with purpose, passion, and powerful wins. From long nights to life-saving moments, they've not only cared for animals, they've become a rock for families, a teammate in crisis, and a voice for compassion. This interview isn't just about medical skill, it's about heart, resilience, and the rising up in a field that doesn't always get the spotlight it deserves. We're here to celebrate their victories, honor their journeys, and leave you inspired by what's possible when dedication meets purpose. Let's get into it, and thank you for joining Emillie.
Hello.
To kick things off, can you tell us what first inspired you to pursue a career as a registered veterinary technician?
I always grew up around animals. I specifically had horses, dogs, cats, little small bunnies. You could name it. I had it probably. And so I always thought I was going to be a veterinarian, even as a little kid. I was pretty consistent with that. And then I got into the field and saw how much technicians, nurses did for these animals. And it was something that spoke to me, especially being somebody that likes to be one-on-one with those animals. And so once I knew that was a possibility and a chance to learn about it and do it, I went for it and I've never regretted it. So
That's awesome.
That's kind of how I ended up in the field.
Yeah. Looking back on your journey, what was one early win or moment that confirmed you were on the right path?
I think it has to be with the aggressive dogs. I worked as a GP nurse for almost 5 years, and being able to grow and build a connection with your doctors and your teammates is something that you don't get all the time with ER or specialty. And so when we had aggressive animals come in, having them look at me as the person to assist them or help them with these animals because they knew I could understand them and give them some sort of trust was a big moment for me, because it kind of solidified that I was doing something that was making a difference and a change for these animals and their owners.
I love that. Just so the audience knows, when you say GP nurse, what does that mean?
General practice, so similar to general medicine for humans. When you go to your normal doctor for a checkup or a physical, it's not the urgent care or the ER, it's your general nurse or doctor.
Awesome. And so now you work in emergency.
I do. Recently, within the last 1 or 2 months, I switched to ER, emergency medicine, and that's been quite the change, but I'm really stepping into it and loving it.
Yeah, I heard really good things about your skill and your attention to detail. I think they're really excited about having you there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What's a case or patient that you'll always remember, not because it was hard, but because it brought joy or pride?
It, of course, goes back to GP, but I had a shepherd, a small little shepherd, and her owners come in, and they hadn't had a dog in a while, but they brought her in. They knew that the shepherd had trust issues and problems in general with the world, and she came in muzzled, scared, afraid, and I was like, you know what, we're going to work on this. We're going to make this dog have a different outlook on the world. And with their support and their compliance, we got her to a point that she could come in and she could come with me, sit in my lap, no muzzle, anything. She'd let us do anything. And so that was a really big moment in my career. And it's just a small little win of something like, we made that difference. We can do it, even with a breed that's so known to be scared and aggressive and combative. It's possible.
Yeah. If you could take a little bit of a moment and explain what that feels like to earn the trust of an animal, who doesn't have the ability to communicate other than, body language and gestures.
Yeah, it's quite rewarding to have a dog that can't speak the same language as you or may not have the training that you're used to working with, and having to trust that those owners are working at home and giving that dog something to work with. It's really rewarding to come into the hospital where I don't see these dogs every day, but they remember that I wasn't the bad guy, that I wasn't the one that, killed them, per se, if that's how they outlook as see it. And I gave them something to be positive. Maybe it wasn't treats, maybe it wasn't the good girls that a lab's going to get all happy about, but it was, oh, I came out, I was able to go on my walk later today. I didn't have to be with my mom the whole time. I could trust that this person was going to stand by me and protect me. That's a really rewarding thing for a breed that's so notoriously connected to their one person and afraid of everything around them.
Yeah. How have you grown as a person or professional since starting in the field?
I have grown by really becoming more open-minded about this field. I came into it, thinking there was one way to do medicine, one way to provide care, and coming into it now, 5-6 years later, I've realized there is no one way to do things. There's multiple correct ways to get things done in a safe manner. So I think being able to just step back and accept it's okay. There are other ways to do things. It's not just your way or the highway. So having that broad point of view and broad open mind about things, I think, is how I've grown the most in this field.
Yeah, that's super important. What part of your job do you consider your superpower?
I think coming into it with that broad perspective is being able to slow down, which I think a lot of people struggle with. And so being able to slow down, pay attention to detail, OCD per se, if you need to say that, but being able to slow down and truly talk to your people, talk to your patients, talk to their owners, and make sure they understand and you're not just rushing through things makes a huge difference. And I think that's one of my strengths in this field for sure.
Yeah, that's so important, especially in the emergency setting where it's high emotion, high stress, and people don't know what. It's nice to have a calm, steady hand.
Yeah.
Tell us about a time where your team achieved something amazing together and what made that moment stand out.
I think actually recently, in the last month or two since joining ER, I think teams had a whole different meaning coming together in these emergency situations. It's honestly amazing how well we can work together as a well-oiled machine. So I think, honestly, there was one case, I think the dog came in not doing well, probably close to being crashing, but not yet. But I mean, I kid you not, like our techs just brushed things off the table, put this dog on the table, had like 5 different people immediately doing tasks. And it felt so good to be in that well-oiled machine and being able to just get things done and communicate and talk. And the doctor was there and it just felt really good.
Yeah. CPR is definitely a bonding moment.
Yes.
Every career has obstacles. What's one that you overcame and that made you stronger? And how did you flip that into a win?
At the beginning of my career, because of my age and starting in this field so young, I think age was one of the biggest obstacles I had to overcome. I think being so committed to my career and my development so early came off maybe a little intimidating to a lot of these people that have been in the field for so long. So overcoming their outlook on me and their judgment per se on me was one of my biggest struggles. So just putting my head down, showing that I was serious and taking the time to commit to my career made the biggest difference in those obstacles. But it definitely wasn't easy. And honestly, it's still not easy to this day, but you just got to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Love that outlook. Is there a moment where a client or animal changed your life in a way that you didn't expect?
There was one. She was at the GP clinic, but she was this Australian Shepherd that had been coming to that clinic for her whole life. And her owner became very close with all of us. And this dog was my favorite. I don't have favorites. I really don't play favorites because I love all of them. But this dog won my heart over in terms of favorites. And I would see her name on the schedule. I'd immediately tell everybody I need to see her, make sure she sees me. And when you'd go out to see this dog, she'd immediately smile. Like, this dog would smile at you, and she was so happy, and it truly made my day. So it makes me happy to know I have those connections, and I had those people, and I still have those people around me.
That's awesome. How do you hope to inspire the next generation of RVTs or animal care professionals?
I hope to inspire the next generation by supporting those in terms of wanting to be in this career and wanting to better themselves. I took a lot of time with my last team just trying to inspire the learning and the continued education part of things and the love as to why we're here. So I hope to bring that into my next path, my next whatever part of my career that is. I hope to bring that inspiration and drive to want to do better and to want to be the best in this field for everybody.
Yeah, I love that. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting their journey as a veterinary technician?
My advice would be to slow down and take it all in. Nothing's going to happen in a day. Nothing's going to happen in a month. It's going to take time. It may not feel right at the time. It may not feel the best. But if you truly know you're in the right spot, then you are. And that will all come over time. You'll build those steady blocks through practice, through repetition. And you just got to be committed to the cause. And so taking the time to do that is one of the biggest things in this field.
And lastly, where can people connect with you or learn more about your work?
So I actually am a part of a mobile technician business. It's called the Mobile Vet Assistant. We do mobile work all throughout Sonoma County. We come to you on a bit case-by-case basis, whether that's for nail trims, anal glands, medication instillments, you name it, we can do it. So the Mobile Vet Assistant is how you can reach out to us more. We have our owner, who's actually in vet school right now, in hopes to make this a bigger thing with a veterinarian on board and hopefully pursuing more of that veterinary care mobily.
That sounds great. Is that on Instagram or?
I think we have a website. It's themobilevetassistant.com, I believe, is our website.
Okay, perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys heard it first. Emillie, thank you for taking time to enlighten us and just give us a quick insight on your experience. I'm just excited to meet more folks like yourself, more professionals who are out there doing this good work.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this quick segment. Emillie's got lives to save, so we're going to let her go. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.